these units here are going to be turned from Jeep9s into Paducah build Jeep10s. This is for the P&TM Railroad. The owner of these two units, his name is Eddie Toombs. And on this particular build, I am taking some before and after shots. I've taken some still photos. I'm going to include them in the video. But I just wanted to show you, these are Athearn Genesis units. They are non-sound. He will be having me to install sound into them. But the quality of these units just match the price. That's all I can say about it. Plenty of detail. You know, of course they got the hoses and the brake levers and, you know, fans, interior, just basically the whole 9 yards. Nothing that you would not consider being from Athearn these days. So yeah, I just wanted to show you the before pictures. These are C and EI units, as you can see there on the side. I don't know who the previous owner was, but Eddie bought these secondhand, and we're going to chop them and turn them into Paducah build Jeep10s. So hope you enjoy. This will be a long ride. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with just kind of giving you the procedure. The first thing I'm going to do is get my little pointer here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the handrails, anything basically, the horns, cut levers, hoses, anything that I need to take off. I've already got the parts that I'm going to need to change out the cab and the nose. I've got the breather ducts. I've got like I said, I've got pretty much everything I'm going to need. It's just I'm going to reveal that as we do the build. So yeah, this is I'm going to kind of just go through this, not step by step like I do on all my other videos. I'm not going to sit and hack and cut and let you, have you watch me take the handrails off of it. That's nonsense. So this is just going to be, either the first installment or part of the first installment on these builds. I've got to look up some prototypical pictures so I can actually have a little something to go by as to where the parts hook up, that kind of thing. There might even be some, I might have to remove a fan or something. I don't know. I've been kind of looking at it. We're just going to have to see where it goes from here. So yeah, this is where we are. You guys just kind of stay tuned, and I'm going to try to install this video on my channel as I go in segments. So just bear with me and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got her all took apart. Of course, I got the cabs off of it. Stack compartments or covers off the top. The previous owner had these glued together, if you can dig that. And I'm just going to tell you how I did this. Every one of these were glued down through here, and it just took a little patience, but I put it in my alcohol soak, which is how I turn that down just a little bit, which is how I actually remove the paint. I put it in an alcohol soak, but I let it soak and it took me 5 days to let this soak, and it finally removed. And every day I'd take and pull a little bit until I could get the first one to pop loose, which was back here. And I just worked my way around, and this whole thing was glued. I couldn't believe it. I don't know why they done that. There had to have been a reason, but both these units were glued. But anyway, I got them apart. So what we're going to do, you can see there's some damage right there, which is where, when it finally broke loose, it pulled that side out. But I can fix that. That's no big deal. So the idea that we've got is Eddie had ordered some cabs, some GP10 cabs from Big Dog. This is the packaging. Pretty nice little cabs, and they wasn't that expensive either. Big Dog, it's Big Dog Originals at yahoo.com, www.bigdogoriginals.com. He's also got a Facebook page. When they come in the package like this, I've already got one of them out, but I'm going to show you just taking this one out of the package. These are mold injected, if I'm not mistaken. Plastic, just like anything else. And these are actually just a raw version. That's what you're buying. You're not buying a cab that's already cleaned up, like something that comes from Genesis or Cato or something. These are for your creation, if you want to know the truth, or at least that's the way I look at it. But it's still got plastic in the windows. That's pretty easily solved. You want to just take your knife and put it in there, work your way around the window. There you go. You got that window poked out. It's not really, hard stuff to do. You're gonna have a little excess plastic like this. You just cut that plastic off. You want to work all the way across and make everything like it's supposed to be. Get the excess plastic out of there. But the idea is going to be, we're going to have to take the nose off, of course. And probably going to wind up taking all of this off, the whole piece, and then re-gluing this onto this. Now, by the measurements that I took, this should match up with this. It's going to be kind of a trial and error thing. We also, between me and Eddie, got to talking, and we decided, actually, I'm going to leave the battery boxes on the seal, and I'm going to take the battery boxes off of this seal. Off of this seal. I'm going to take the battery boxes off of this cab. Cut it right here and right along the edge of the cab there, keeping it straight. That's a pretty simple little procedure. You want to break out the big knife on that. You take the big knife out. You want to make your cut. There's already always a line right there. It's going to show the division on your cab. And you want to get you a nice line right there and just cut back and forth until you get the cab loose. Like I said, the cab is going to actually glue to the long hood. So all this will be removed, and then once I get this cut down and set up here the way I want to, we've been thinking that we may try to use the glass out of these. If not, I may have to just get some clear plexiglass type stuff and just put glass inside. It's going to work either way. I've done it's kind of like the old blue box glass. The blue box, I can't hardly say it today, but that glass is on the inside, and actually these cabs are not as thick as the blue box cabs are, so it won't look as out of alignment, if you will. We've been looking at it also for the number boards. Going to use blue box number boards to fill in here and here. They will fit. I think I've got some up here, but I'm putting the cart a little bit ahead of the horse. Once I come back, I think I'll probably already have these cut loose and have these attached. But just looking at the height of it, just eyeballing, you can see there I think it's going to match up and be right. The good thing about ordering from Big Dog is he has quite a few different types of shells and cabs. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Big Dog, but for those of you who aren't, everything he's got is a decent quality, and they're actually good prices. But I actually had been talking with him about this. I say with him, I actually have been talking with Eddie about this, and we just decided to actually go and keep this seal whole, instead of we would have to go through a bunch of heck removing all this. And so we just decided we would take the battery boxes off here, use the original steps that come with this to replace these steps, and the same thing on the back. But if you look at it, that's the railroad tracks. I don't know if you can hear that or not over the TV. But if you look at it, that's lined up there. It's lined up in the back. So I would say Big Dog is, see right there, you can see it's lined up in the back. I'd say Big Dog is right on it with his measurements as far as replacing with an Athearn cab. I think some of his are actually made for Proto too. Some of you guys may know this stuff. I don't know all about Big Dog, but I do know these shells or these cabs are actually nice and they can easily be worked with. Same thing with the shells that I've seen that he's done. I know of several people that's ordered his shells. So anyway, when I come back and start filming again, I will already have these cabs attached to these. So I'm going to try to make this build as quick as possible. Oh, I want to show you also, since it's soaked for so long, I was actually able to remove the vent covers on the Genesis. If you notice right here, this is a dull gray finish, and they put that on there so behind the black vent you can actually see that dull gray finish back there. These aren't see-through like some of them are. So anyway, we are going to replace these stacks. We're going to go with the higher Paducah build stacks. We've got replacements for those, and we do have the Paducah build ducts that drop down behind the cab. That's going to happen too. Speaking of body work, before I go, on these particular units there was an emergency red light back here. If you notice, there's 4 holes. These were the running lights or headlights, and there was a top headlight here. I think this was an oscillating light, and then there was a red light up underneath the bottom of it. And from what I was told and from what I've read, that red light was an emergency red light. If the unit or the train went into emergency shutdown, the red light on front and back would come on, and that would be a warning beacon to an oncoming train that there was a locomotive sitting on the tracks in shutdown. But this, on the long hood, this is going to have to be cut off and sanded down, and we're going to take probably 2 Details West fixtures, one for this end and one for that side, one for that locomotive, and replace the fixture, fill this in with putty, and paint it up. So that's how I'm answering that. And like I said, this is going to be, I'm going to try to make this a quick few videos, but this will take a few videos to do, since I only like to do 15-20 minute videos at a time anyhow. I appreciate you guys watching. You can find me at Turner and Lewis Railroad on Facebook, or you can of course comment down at the bottom. I would like for you to like this video, let your friends know about the video. I've said this several times before, but I'm going to try to build my channel. I'd like to encourage you guys to watch Rail Talk. I have a segment on Rail Talk for the next couple of shows. I will be on and off there some. But yeah, like the video, comment as you see fit, and look me up if you need any work done. Speaking of that, use Big Dogs. He's got good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Y'all come back now. You hear?